Call to order this regular town council meeting of July 3rd, 2013 in town chambers. Welcome everybody and welcome everybody in Cyberland. We have Deacon Roger Nelson here to give us the opening prayer of the month.
There's three of us here.
Yeah, we must be doing really bad.
That's what I'm saying. Well, if the rest of them want to stand up.
No, one is fine.
Yeah, because they've been pretty happy. Well, Your Worship, you remember last time I was here, we did the prayers, and basically.
I haven't been any better since either.
You haven't been any better. Well, this is just a tune-up tonight, I hope. But anyway, I'll start with the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we know that you always hear our prayers, and we ask that you hear the prayers of those gathered here today, and also as we join with the council on this auspicious evening, we would ask each of the councillors, perhaps if they have any specific wishes or prayers that they would like to say, desires for the community. So I've asked them to please put forth their thoughts.
And getting along with ourselves and the community.
Good government.
I would hope and pray that the Siksika Nation can come through what they're experiencing with the flood at High River.
For this we pray, Lord, hear our prayer.
My heart's in High River, and hope everything goes for the best.
And for this we pray, hear our prayer. Are there any others?
I guess my prayer would be that we as a community be able to help to give them strength and encouragement so that they can rebuild their lives and continue to live normal lives again.
For this we pray. There are no others I would add to that. I would give thanks to the Lord for the graciousness of the community that we live in and the safety that we got through when others met so much misfortune. So I ask you to bow your heads to receive the Lord's blessing. Lord our God, look with love on the people of this community and keep them safe in your service. Guide the members of this council and help them to work together for the good of all. Bless their plans and deliberations and bring them to success. Father, we ask this grace through Christ our Lord. Amen. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First item on the agenda is number 21, bylaw number 13-12, Kinsman Park Land Use Amendment bylaw, which you have in front of you. And Betty Ann is going to be doing it for the first time. Welcome.
Good evening, Your Worship, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The purpose of bylaw number 13-12 is to change the land use designation from R1 residential single detached district, R2 mixed housing district, R3 an apartment district, and its commercial highway, our highway commercial district, CB central business district, and B1 public district, service district. Can we confirm any of a notice from the development officer?
Your Worship, bylaw 13-12 was published in the Strathmore Times on June 21st, 2013 and June 28th, 2013.
Any development officer report?
Thank you, Your Worship. This property was last rezoned in 2002. The plan at that time was to create one residential apartment lot, one highway commercial lot, one neighborhood commercial lot, 36 mixed housing lots, 18 single-family lots, and one municipal reserve lot in several stages. The town of Strathmore is initiating this proposal. This land was purchased in 2011 with the intent being to subdivide and sell 1.3 acres to allow for a mixed-use building on the site and to help offset the cost of the land purchase, with the remaining 9.25 acres being zoned P1 and dedicated as municipal reserve. The following items have been considered in the review. The proposed redesignation meets the intent of the land use concept map in the municipal development plan, which indicates that the subject property is intended to be developed for residential and commercial developments in this area. The present zoning is R1, Residential Single Detached District, R2, Mixed Housing District, R3, Apartment District, and CHWY, Highway Commercial District. The development originally approved in 1994 was a culmination of negotiations necessary to protect the town's interest in the existing infrastructure at the time and to allow for a plan of development that would allow the developer the opportunity to proceed with a subdivision that could be accommodated within the real estate market of the town. It was felt at that time that the proposed commercial zoning would be appropriate for an expansion of the downtown commercial area. The developer at the time of the 2002 rezoning application indicated that this parcel could be better developed with a residential development similar to that of Lambert Village on the north side of Park Lane Drive. The lands to the south and southwest are zoned as highway commercial. The lands to the east are Pond 4 of the town's stormwater management system, Ranch Estates Mobile Home Park, and the Ranch subdivision. The land to the west is zoned public service, Kinsman Park. The lands to the north and northeast are zoned Neighborhood Commercial District, Idaho Gaspar, Public Service District, Lambert Village, and a residential apartment district, Park Lane Place, and Chinook 3 across the WID Canal. This parcel was part of the CPR Railway. Testing was done in the past and found that contamination was confined to the area around the old bulk station, which was cleaned up several years ago. A letter was received from Alberta Environment confirming the cleanup of the site. An additional environmental cleanup was recently completed by Kaizen Environmental Services, Inc. The developer of the 1.3-acre Central Business District site will have to enter into a development agreement for the expansion of the infrastructure. This development has sat in abeyance since receiving original subdivision approval in 1994. This proposal will meet the needs of the developer of the Central Business parcel, while having a positive effect on the downtown area through the dedication of the 9.25 acres as municipal reserve. The issue of the encroachment of the Idaho Gaspar onto this property has been resolved. As mentioned previously, Bylaw 1312 was advertised in the Strathmore Times on June 21st and June 28, 2013, and additionally, notice of application was circulated to adjacent landowners on June 17th. The town has not received any comments back from the notified stakeholders or from any other persons claiming to be affected by this bylaw. Consultation will be required with engineering and operations at the subdivision and development stages to ensure that the increased density that will occur as a result of the rezoning will not adversely impact any proposed servicing in the area. Administration is recommending approval as it would be deemed to be fine-tuning an existing approved plan for the betterment of the long-term plans for the town. Administration is recommending that if council has all the information required to make a decision on Bylaw 1312, that the public hearing be closed. Council may also adjourn the public hearing for further information if required. Thank you very much, Your Worship.
You know, if I was sitting and no disrespect to you, but if I was sitting in the crowd, I find that far too complex. I understood it to be that we're zoning one parcel to R3,
Central Business.
right, which is the north end of the 10 acres, 9 acres approximately, and the rest will be zone park, P1. Is that what's happening? It wasn't that, I'm sorry, it was not that clear to me. What happened in 99 and 88 and holy moly, it was too confusing. So that's what really is happening. Okay, has council got that? Any questions? If not, I guess I'm going to go through my formalities anyway, and there's no written submissions.
No written submissions have been received, Your Worship.
Is there any persons in the crowd in favor or opposed to this application? Does council have any questions to the development officer? Any closing statements from the development officer?
I believe I've covered everything in my report.
Thank you.
Thoroughly. Thank you.
If not, I would like to ask for a motion to declare the public hearing closed.
I move that the public hearing be closed.
All heard the motion, all in favor? Carried.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Really is a good job, but very complicated formula. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Councillor Sobel, Councillor Rocky,
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Hamilton,
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Best, Councillor Fuel,
Nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Rampo,
Nothing from me, Your Worship.
Red Administration.
Your Worship, can we add in 8.3 town antenna just for information for council?
Thank you. Motion for acceptance.
I would move to accept the agenda as amended.
Y'all heard the motion, all in favor? Carried. Adoption of the June 19, 2013 regular council meeting minutes.
Your Worship, I would move that we adopt the June 19th, 2013 regular council meeting minutes.
Y'all heard the motion, all in favor? Carried. 5-1, July 13th, Citizen of the Month.
That's fine.
Go for it.
That's fine, Your Worship. Ladies and gentlemen, my choice for the July 2013 Citizen of the Month has been a part of our business community here in Strathmore since 2002. Ever since then, she has been an integral part of the many events, groups, and organizations within our community. Tina has been involved in supporting the President's Choice Children's Charity, the Youth Club of Strathmore, Victim Services, Strathmore Women's Crisis Shelter, the Wheatland Food Bank, the Christmas Hamper Society, the Foothills AIM Society, Canadian Tire's Jumpstart Program, the Strathmore Fire Department, and several minor sports associations on an ongoing basis. Tina has also played a major role in obtaining the PC President's Choice Hometown Barbecue Festival in the summer of 2012. Just recently, Tina has also sponsored sending grade 9 students from the Crowther Memorial Junior High School on their Eastern Canada trip. Without the generous support that is shown by Tina, many of these special events would not happen. Ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow councillors, please help me to welcome and congratulate the Citizen of the Month for July 2013, Ms. Tina Shipley.
Can I just grab one more, sorry? Thank you.
Congratulations, Tina, and good work. Moving on, 5-2, Mr. and Mrs. Oh, no, we need a motion, I'm sorry.
With that, Your Worship, I move that council accept Tina Shipley as Citizen of the Month for 2013.
Y'all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried. 5-2, Mr. and Mrs. Simonon for Oxbow Road. Would you please come forward?
Mr. Mayor, Council, we have a couple of issues really to raise at the town. We were annexed into the town back whenever it was, 2 or 3 years ago. We paid our taxes. This year we got taxed through the town, which increased our taxes up to $5,000. We jumped $1,400, which is in itself, right? But we get no services. We tried to get the police to come out. We have issues on our road. It's a road where you can see from the 817 for 4 miles. We have dragons out there. In the mornings, it's just crazy. People pass them. People getting run off the road. We tried everything. My wife has tried. I've tried. Everybody passes a buck. I mean, we pay a lot of tax. We get no services out of it. We can't even get, except we can't get police service. We can't even get the town to mow the ditches, mow the grass on the side of the road. We have a hard time getting the road graded. I mean,
there's nothing. We don't get anything out there for the money we're paying, and that's why we're here tonight. Is I've talked to you a number of times. I've talked to John a few times about the policing out there. Nothing happens.
It just seems to get passed from one hand to the other. Town passed it off the RCMP don't do anything about it. The issues we have is not so much through the day. It's from 7 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning. People are going from Strathhaven, Hillview, right past our place. It's a clear shot to the highway. Everybody knows there's no police out there. They've never seen a policeman out there. The town bylaw officer come out once, sat at the edge of the road, told me, says, I'll just go put up a big sign. Nobody comes out here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You've got to come out in the mornings. You get the same thing, but we don't start. Or they're taking care of the school zones. Well, the school zones start at 8 till 8 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, our issues are from 7 to 8 in the morning and 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody's coming home. We have motorbikes. They're flying past there. I guarantee this one guy does 125 miles an hour. 5 kilometers an hour. Like it's crazy.
You look and you look again, and he's gone. That's how fast
You hear
he's
it,
going.
and it's all, you know.
So it's
You
ridiculous.
complain about it, nothing gets done. You know, I mean, I understand everybody speeds. You know, it's a 60-kilometer zone. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody goes 60 kilometers. Nobody's going anywhere in a hurry. The issues are from the mornings till the nighttime, right? They're going to work, coming home. I mean, taxes are one thing. We just get shuffled off like nothing gets done. We have to come to town council and complain to the council to get a road graded or get the grass cut. I didn't know you had to do that. I figured if you were a part of the town, that was part of the deal. We got the excuse, well, we weren't in the budget. Or we're not this, we're not that. You pay taxes to the county, that was another one. Well, we don't pay taxes to the county anymore, we pay them to the town.
So what do we have to do in order to get anything changed?
Can I ask administration a couple of questions, if you don't mind, first off? Do we have record of when the police or our bylaw officers did do any policing there? If so, do we have record of their timing?
Yeah, I can check that.
I think I had it on my fridge door.
We kept track for a little while.
They
but
come up for 2 or 3 days, haven't seen them in 2 months. Nothing's changed.
I certainly sympathize with your tax
I
situation.
understand that too, but we expect something out of it. I mean, some type of service. Good Lord, you
Can
shouldn't
you
have
explain
that.
to us why it went up so much? It went up $1,400 this year.
See, the thing was, we couldn't even appeal. We didn't even know what the mill rate
Yeah,
was.
how do you?
How do you
When you
appeal?
get your assessment, there's no tax rate on there, so how can you figure out
What
when
the
you
mill
do
rate is.
get your bill,
Our
what it's
assessment
gonna
had
be?
changed.
So how can you appeal? How can you say it's gonna be too high or explain that to
Administration,
me.
can you answer that?
Yeah, you can appeal your assessment, not
Yeah,
the
but our
mill rate.
assessment hadn't changed much. We had no reason to appeal the assessment.
And I think what happened is you subdivided your land.
I understand that.
Yeah, that's what
I
happened. The mill
understand
rate
that, but
changes.
at the same point, you show me on the assessment where it told us the mill rate.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't
anything,
tell us
so
the
how
mill rate.
can you know
It tells us our
what's
assessment.
going to happen?
We look at
Get your
last year's
actual bill?
assessment to this year's, it never changed much. I didn't think for a minute it was gonna go up to $5,000 a year.
Yeah, and it's
And how
the,
do you appeal this? How would you appeal this? You
your,
tell me what you're appealing. You're not appealing anything.
it's your assessment that you can appeal, not the mill rate, so.
Yeah, but your mill rate is also part of the assessment. That's what you're gonna pay in taxes. That's what I wanna know, is what my taxes are. The assessment is what it is. How am I supposed to know what I'm appealing when it comes to taxes? They don't tell you that.
You look at this,
Right?
okay, and you're supposed to go by that, and then, but
We go from shared taxes to the town taxes. And like I said, our assessment never changed much. But our taxes go up $1,400. Which I understand, everybody pays taxes. But give us some service of something that we can say, here, move to Strathmore, you're gonna get services for what you pay your taxes for. I won't tell people that because we don't. It's hard to do.
I do agree with your service center, but Councillor Rempel and Councillor Sobel.
Yeah, through the chair, Ron, like, You, your assessment is the same, or pretty much the same as it was the year
It
before.
changed some.
It changed some.
And so there's no amount on there what your assessment is valued, the value of your assessment.
How do you mean the
No,
value?
not sure what you mean.
Well, usually when they're on your assessment notice, there's a value
Of the property.
of the property.
Total us, it just told us residential.
The
assessment.
residential assessment is
And that's
what it
all, it
says.
just tells us the assessment.
And
Do
then
I mill rate now? Because I just know.
a question to administration, has there been a change in how the taxes are collected since from the time the town annexed that land to now? Because it used to be based on the county mill rate.
And in the annexation board order, as soon as you subdivide or develop your property, then the mill rate changes to the town's mill rate.
Okay, I got another question to ask. When we were annexed, we got payable by the county because we were annexed in January. We were subdivided, third reading at the county in April. They said no, because we were annexed. We knew nothing about no annexation agreement that if we annexed,
Yeah.
carried through with this annex or with our subdivision, this is what was gonna happen. We find out about this, the guy tells us what's a 40-page book.
Yeah,
What?
like where do we have access to
Nobody's told
know
us.
that if we were to subdivide, this was all gonna change, like we'd be paying a different.
What we were told was if we didn't subdivide, being that far into this, the town may not subdivide it. They may not allow it. And that's what we were told. We knew nothing about no book that tells you about some agreement between the town and the county.
Were
I
you,
never seen no book.
were you told that by the town or the county?
Absolutely, by
That
the town.
By
We
the
had to deal with the
town?
town.
Were you, okay, sorry,
About the subdivision, yeah.
you applied to the county.
We were annexed, we were third reading with the county. It was in January, we were annexed. Third reading was in April. County tabled it because we had been annexed in January. We were told to proceed with it through the town. Nobody told us about no agreement that if we did this, this is, you're gonna get hit like this. We knew nothing about that.
But it never
We were
came-
told that if we didn't actually do it right away, because the town wasn't sure what they were gonna do with the annexation, that they may not,
So the town never approved it.
the town approved it. But they told us if we didn't do it, that they would, now, they may not approve it down the road, is what I'm saying, right? Because that's right after the annexation. So we knew nothing about no book.
So how did we know that this is what's gonna happen, like, once we subdivided, it was gonna, this thing was gonna
That
change?
your mill rate would
Go up?
change to
Well,
the
yeah,
town,
yeah,
town mill rate
How would
versus the
we know
county.
about this?
We knew nothing about that. We were told nothing. Like I said, all we were told by the town was, when we come back to the town after being tabled at the county, we had everything in order. We had everything. We had the survey done. The town comes back, does another survey, because they never took their easement. Another thing they did was they told me I had to pay for the second survey, which was another $3,000 for your easement. And the thing was, if I didn't agree to this and give you your easement, you wouldn't have, I was told I wouldn't have gotten the subdivision. So I got blackmailed twice in a sense, right? And I have no reason to make that up. That's the truth.
Is this something that we could sit down and meet and discuss and pull your file out and have a look at what actually happened? And I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with
You
the
know what,
file,
what I'm saying is we just never knew about whatever this book is.
Yeah, we didn't
Until-
know when we subdivided, it was gonna go, switch over and go up so high.
I assume you're talking about the annexation order, the board order.
Yeah,
Like we knew nothing about that. And like I say, we'd already put 3 years into subdividing through the county,
county and then.
right? So we go there in January, we get it annexed by the town in January. Our third reading to have our subdivision passed comes in April. County says no, because you've been annexed in January.
So they would no longer
we're
have
gonna
No,
table
so
it.
we
You
had
have to deal
start
with the
all
town.
over again with the town.
So we came into the town and it started all over again. We did the first survey and then I had to resurvey it because the town never took their easement. And I was willing to give the town the easement, But I also had to pay the town $3,000, or pay the survey $3,000 for the town to have my easement.
I don't ever recall you coming to council.
It didn't, I just went as far as planning. Or whoever was in the planning.
We talked to a lady in planning, and I forget her name, what her name is.
I don't remember the
Okay.
name.
We know.
Are you done, Counselor?
Yeah, very
So,
unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go through this, just be patient here. I'm gonna go through each counselor, okay?
My question was answered, thank you.
Counselor Field?
Mine was answered too.
See, I find this very disturbing that, they were in the mix of of being annexed and not knowing, and they weren't fully informed. And also the fact that, they aren't getting services. I agree with 100%. They aren't getting full service. Is there a way to offset their tax base? We have a special formula for the people that aren't getting the services that the rest of the community is getting.
Well, I think unfortunately this year the mill rate is set, so we can't change the mill rate, but it's something that we can look at.
We can't do it this year, but we can change it for the future.
We can look at
Yeah.
a split mill rate or whatever.
Because you aren't getting the services. I agree 100%.
You know, I have no problem paying taxes, but for what you're paying,
We kind of want something for the amount of money we're paying, you
so
know?
we have a hard time getting the graded road. In front of our house, it's asphalt. When we were still in the county, they would at least fill the potholes. We can't even get that done.
Did the county cut the grass in front of you when they were,
Yeah,
did they?
and those ditches are mobile.
Yeah, I was told they're not, but anyway, okay. Go ahead, Councilor Rumble.
Through the chair, I just want to make one thing very clear, and it doesn't, it doesn't matter who it is, whether they're rich or poor or whatever, or in between. We cannot forgive taxes. Once the matter is set, that's what it is. There's no appealing of taxes, unfortunately, in your case. But I hope that when you sit down with administration, you can work out something that will be satisfactory to both you and to the municipality. And I do hope that you will get a little bit more police presence in your area during those critical times. And that you get a little bit more services when it comes to grading and I believe that and I saw them out yesterday and I believe today again, they are starting to cut the ditches.
Yes.
They weren't
And,
out yesterday, not our.
No, but around town, like,
Oh,
and and they will go out all the way out to your way there. So that should hopefully happen here in the next couple of days.
Yeah, see, we were also getting the same thing that we were saying, at least mow the ditches. Well, we were getting told that you can't mow. But it's no different than at the end of Hillview, at the end of the asphalt, to where it changes to that chip road. It's the same road that goes past my place. It's the same road that goes past the rodeo grounds. You look at the fence going from the 817 on the north end of the rodeo grounds, it's almost straight up and down, but they managed to cut it. It's the same road.
like we're talking now, just not one path down and cutting that tall stuff. We're also would like to know why we're not getting what in front of Strathaven, Hillview, where they've gone right to the fence, and it's all manicured. Like, why are we not included in that beautification or whatever you want to call it? You know, why, with what we pay, and we are part of Strathmore, why you can't come all the way down to our corner?
And the county was going all the way down the whole ditch,
Yeah, they come down with 20 foot cut,
right to the fence line.
pretty much, where you can cut to the fence line, right? I mean, I understand the spots.
And I'm not trying to be
You're not gonna get
sarcastic.
right down there,
Yeah.
and I don't expect that.
Mhm.
But I'm looking at this, and in the town guys, they're saying, oh, it's unmowable. But then I'm looking from me to you away, and it's the same road, it's the same ditch. But they're cutting this, but they can't cut this side. It don't make no sense. Same thing as in front of Hillview and Strathaven. You cut the south side of the ditch, why don't they cut the north side? It's your road. right? If you're cutting one side, you should be able to cut both sides.
George
I
Freeman's
can
right.
understand that.
You're doing both. I see you're doing the
Right.
east side now. Cutting down, like really doing a nice job. So what's wrong with coming to our place?
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm all
Yeah,
for
see,
it.
and that's what we're saying.
I called somebody last year and they said that because I had seen Strathaven being, I guess, landscaped. I don't know what you want to call it. They had brought dirt in and I asked why it couldn't be done down at our place and he said it wasn't in the budget. So when are we going to be in the budget?
Yeah, see, that's just, we got that same
Yeah.
answer every time we ask. Well,
Well, we're gonna be looking into that for sure.
we've been
Council
annexed for
Sobel?
3 years. When do you get in the budget?
Yeah.
No, will be.
I'm
Councilor, do you want to
I'm hoping that some of these issues are going to be looked at, and in regards to the police, I would ask you to be persistent in your calls to the police station.
To the
I know.
You have no idea. You
Yeah,
have no
yeah.
idea how persistent it is.
And perhaps, if you're not getting any satisfaction, your next step should be to the detachment commander, Staff Sergeant Riley, and
So
What's wrong with
whose
the town bylaws?
responsibility is it then? Is it the police or is it the town that should be out there sitting on that road?
well, it's both responsibilities. We only have a limited amount
I've tried.
of resources that can do radar,
I understand
do
that.
radar enforcement.
I understand that, but every time we complain to the town, we get the same answer. They're taking care of school zones.
Yeah,
No.
well,
School zone starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. Our issues are from 7 till 8, and 5,
Yeah.
or 4, or 5. till
and
6
you have a
o'clock.
legitimate,
Or there
That'll
isn't enough
legitimate
people
issue.
to come out and do, I mean, but
And-
I've tried.
and I don't know if I don't know if it requires somebody to come in every day for 3 months, but certainly,
Oh, that's what
all they
I'm
have to do
gonna
is come in
That's
for a
what
few
I'm
days and
gonna
things will
do.
change.
Please, just make a presence once in a while. People, and that's the thing, people take that route because they know there's no police out there.
Yeah.
And it's a straight shot to the end of the chip road and straight to the highway.
Administration, can we have somebody out there at 7 in the morning,
Yeah.
please? Thank you. Councilor Fuel?
Oh, I was just going to add too, that I think this is an issue we've talked about before on Oxbow, that it should be looked at more because a lot of people are commuting and speeding. I did have a question, and it's more concerning your assessment and your taxes. I've got a note here saying that your assessment rose from $571,430 to $589,380. My question is, when you were early talking about subdividing with the county, did the county ever give you an assessment value or tell you what your taxes would be going to? Because I know you got caught in you had applied to subdivide, and then in that time period, you became part of the annexation process, and it seems like they turned you over to us, and then we were not communicating properly back and forth. I'm just wondering if the county ever gave you guys an amount as far as what you'd be looking at with your property subdivided.
Before the annexation?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we would have had some.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering what the comparison would have been.
And that's what I stated, even on the last year, when we were still paying in the county, like, that's why I say it hadn't changed much, the assessment, in that amount of time, right? But when we got the bill from the town, strictly from the town, they gave us the assessment, which had gone up to 584 or whatever it was, right?
Yep.
But no mill rate. So we did, I mean, if you're gonna appeal your taxes, don't you need to know what?
When we send out the assessment notice, can we put in there when they could appeal? Can we put a note in there?
Yeah,
It's in there.
It's in there.
It's
It is?
But you don't know what you're appealing, is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I didn't know if we'd have known that we were gonna get stuck for $5,000 for the taxes, you bet we'd have been in here a lot sooner, right? And complained about it, or at least appealed it. But we never suspected to go up.
Yeah, so
$14,000.
it's just the value of your property that you can appeal. You'd be appealing what your property is worth, not the actual mill rate.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that we're appealing the mill rate. But if you don't know the mill rate, don't you apply your mill rate to what your evaluation, your assessment value is? Isn't that how you figure out the taxes? Well, then how am I supposed to appeal my amount of my taxes when I don't know what the mill rate is? Like I'm saying, if my assessment would have jumped $200,000, oh, you bet I'd have appealed it. But if it only jumped that much, we have increases with the county, the same thing. But they wouldn't go up $1,400. And when they did send a tax notice, at least you knew what you were paying for a rate, right? You got your assessment value plus your your mill rate, and it was, the county last year was, I don't know, was it 3-something?
3.3694.
0.3694 last year, right? And it goes up to 580 now, what it was, but we didn't know that, right? We didn't know what we're feeling. We don't.
See, we didn't know, right, that this was we were gonna be at this mill rate when we got a bill, right? Because we were subdivided, but we didn't realize, okay.
And I think, yeah, we should probably sit down and look at your file and find out exactly what happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's just, like I say, I don't know how you would figure out what your taxes are gonna be if you don't know.
Councillor Rempel and Councillor Rocky.
Yeah, through the chair, Ron, is this the first time that your assessment has changed in the last 3 or 4 years?
Oh, no, it's changed when we were still in the county. It's changed, I mean.
No, you've been, when did we annex that? It was 3
4
years
years ago.
4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago. And this is the first year that your taxes that they jumped.
Yeah, this is the first year we've actually paid directly to the town.
But
See, before we were
gone
annexed.
that high, like jumped up, you mean, that much?
Yes, yeah, because last year you paid taxes to the town as well,
Yes.
and the year before.
Yep.
So it's,
So they went from 3,700 to.
so how come that the last year and the year before you had your subdivision, you already had
Don't
subdivided?
know,
I have no idea.
we don't know.
I have no idea.
I think last year it went up maybe
wasn't
a
dirt.
couple of $100, but I mean, you can live with that.
Due to subdivision or just due
No,
to
just-
increase in assessment?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Okay,
This
so
year-
the subdivision, this is the first time your
Yeah.
subdivisions ever showed up on your assessment?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess maybe our assessors are not right up to date with that.
Yeah, I need to look at the file.
Yeah, so anyway, that's something, and I'm sure Linda will help you out with that, and I hope that, I think you'll probably end up being able to come up to with some kind of agreement that's.
Councillor Rocky.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to talk about the road situations. I travel that road out to Oxbow quite a bit, but I think before too many more annexed homeowners out there show up in front of council here complaining about the roads, which they have every right to do, I would like this council direct administration where we get some better road servicing in place here. I mean, how many more annexed homeowners out there have to come in front of us before we do something about this?
It should be graded more often, I know that, and I agree with Councillor Rocky, 100%.
I probably shouldn't do it, but I graded that road probably half a dozen times last year. It was so bad that you actually couldn't drive up the road or something. Like Waterford. It's a busy road, you know.
And that's a showcase road to the town too, and that really upsets me that it doesn't look
It's a
good.
busy road.
Yeah.
It goes past there.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
And,
thank you very much.
Thanks.
believe it or not, I know that's not a political statement, we do understand your concerns.
I'm sure you can. Thank you for that. Thanks.
5-3 Strathmore Regional Arts Collective, page 13.
Good evening, Your Worship and councillors.
Even.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to thank you for allowing our delegation to appear before you tonight. My name is Brandy Hebbs, and I'm the chairperson of Strathmore Regional Arts Collective, better known as SRAC, or simply the Arts Collective. With me tonight is Wanda Reinhold and Joe Van Keulen, The issue of arts and culture in the town of Strathmore has been a topic of discussion for many years, as we're all aware. It has consistently ranked extremely high in priorities set by the citizens of this municipality. This was revealed in the results of the Quality of Life Master Plan in 2010. It was cited in Community Futures reporting, and it was also supported by the feasibility study for Regional Community Arts Center in Strathmore, which was completed by Hope Bridges in 2011. So obviously, the people of Strathmore and the communities in this area are hungry for more organization and investment in the arts and culture. In 2010, it was the Strathmore Town Council, when turning down a request for funding from an arts-related group,
that stated it was time for all arts and culture groups to come together, join hands, and start working as a united group. This was good advice, which was also echoed by the Wheatland County Council, provincial funding bodies, and federal funding bodies. So that's what we did. With Hope Bridges driving the efforts, a group of representatives from arts councils was put together and the Community Arts Center feasibility study was completed. It was presented to the public several times in an effort to find more individuals and groups with a passion to see an arts council formed in Strathmore. Much enthusiasm and interest was generated. At this point, Hope Bridges stepped away and allowed the Arts Council to grow of its own momentum. Several more meetings produced a diverse and experienced 9-person board of highly devoted people driven to see arts and culture succeed and thrive in this area. This board carefully prepared the required documents and was officially incorporated on August 31st, 2012. So we're new, but make no mistake, we're serious, we're long overdue, and we're here to stay. We have a vision. We want to identify all the artists and artisans in the region. We want to promote them and support them, and we want to find a home for them, an arts and culture center. And in doing this, we also provide lots of opportunities for all the citizens of Strathmore and the region in the form of arts. After we incorporated, we chose to do rigorous strategic planning with the guidance of Jennifer Banks-Dahl, a Community Development Officer with Alberta's Department of Culture. We put specific words to our passion in the form of a vision, a mission, objectives, goals, and action plans. We've developed long, medium, and short-term goals, and it's some of the short-term goals that brings us here tonight. Our immediate task is letting the people know that STRAC exists and to begin educating them as to what we can do for them. With this in mind, we wish to acknowledge the Alberta Cultural Days scheduled to take place between September 27th and 29th by hosting an Arts and Sounds in the Park festival on September 28th, this is a Saturday, from noon until 5 p.m. The concept is to create a festival-like atmosphere with tents to house various artists and artisans who will be open to public interaction. As well, we'll have ongoing productions of various sorts in the amphitheater there in Kinsman Park. As a new and developing organization, we've not yet embarked on fundraising, but we feel strongly that this is one event that we should embrace immediately. It is the first of a projected annual event. We want to keep it smaller and focus on excellent planning and production of this event. As we, STRAC, grow in strength, this production will also grow in strength in the years to come. We've set a budget for this first festival of $3,500. We believe we can raise $1,000 from private donors. We're here to ask two things from this council. Firstly, a financial commitment of $2,500 to put towards the festival, and most importantly, to have the town identify itself as a partner in this venture. We wish to work closely with the town to assist it in becoming known as a serious promoter of arts and culture in the Strathmore region. It's an ideal partnership to offer more for our community and the region. I'd like to thank you again for giving us this opportunity to present our proposal. And if you have any questions, I would be glad to answer.
Thank you. Council, any questions? I do want to say that I travel to Alberta and arts and culture is a big thing in all communities and it draws a lot of people. So I am certainly in favor of this. It's just part of the whole community atmosphere and it just brings everybody together. Having said that, when you say a commitment other than 2,500, have you pursued grant money or things like that at this point?
We've actually identified grant avenues, but for this particular year, we were too late to apply. The applications had to be in about 3 days before I found the site, but we will definitely in the years to come go that avenue first.
So and how much do you think you're going to raise that day?
I'm pretty sure we can raise at least $1,000 from private donors in the short time that we have until September 28th, which is why we're going to keep it small too and just focus on doing it really well rather than having something big that we can't keep a handle on.
And is there open to the public?
Yes,
free?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
And you haven't draws or anything to raise more money at that event?
We're still working on the details, but yeah, we need to work on fundraisers and like just sales of pop and draws. The draws would be more for the people, I would say. I don't know that we would have a raffle per se. We just have draws with prizes for the participants. But it's definitely in our planning to do this.
Just to clarify, this is a public event. It's open to the town. This is a
Absolutely.
town and district. So it's going to be wide open
Yeah,
for
and the whole
everyone
area
to
around Strathmore. There's
take part.
nobody that's not invited, really.
Councillor Few?
Well, I'm happy that you have gotten organized and that you've got your groups together and you're prepared to put something on. I mean, so many of us are big proponents of bringing things to the downtown core, and I think this is just one more thing. The conference Councillor Rocky and I went to kept talking about you need to bring festivals and events right into the downtown core. So I really like the sound of it. I think it's going to be one more thing that will bring the town into that area with a beautiful park. I think it's a great idea. I mentioned this last time. I don't know if you people got wind of this, but one of the things mentioned at the conference was if you can find an empty building in the downtown area, you can actually approach the landlord or the owner, like the Sand Building, for example, and see if, since it has so much window space, if he's willing for you to display some of your items and then have the building not be a derelict, empty building. It's doing something for your group as well. But I really like the idea. Anything that we can do to bring people to Kinsman, I'm very, very in favor of.
It's not official yet either, but because we want to work with other arts groups, I'm also the president of the Wheatland Society of Arts, and we are hoping to have an art walk in that same time frame. I didn't really present it because we haven't worked out exactly how it'll work, but often it means displaying art and business and through the downtown, and it's kind of not a treasure hunt, but a stamp your ticket sort of thing that you get to all the places, and then you put this ticket that's been stamped, I guess, in a draw for, that's not finalized or formal or anything, so it wasn't in my official proposal, but there's work being done in that direction also. But thank you for the recommendation about the empty buildings. That's good to know.
Their name is on the building. It's Danny and Terry Thiessen that own that building. And their name is the Sand Building, and their phone number is on there. Now we're not making a commitment that they're going to do anything, but you know, if you approach them, of course, you never know. And if you did it now, you could be advertising for the upcoming date at the same time.
Your Worship, that's one of the ideas that we have for the downtown overlay bylaw. And we are having our first meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I wonder if you'd be interested in participating.
Where's the meeting?
It'll be here at the town office at 5 o'clock.
Are we in a position to entertain a motion at this time, Your Worship?
If there's no other further questions, yeah.
Yes, Your Worship, through the chair, I'm all in favor of this too, same as Councillor Pat. Anything that gets closer to downtown is what we want to do here. I guess the $2,500, how soon do you need that, or how soon do you have to know? Probably soon, right?
The sooner is better, I'd imagine, but I would think a couple of weeks. We need to secure, I have a budget here on a handout, which I'll give out later, that has some more details. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. We're thinking advertising at around 600. This will be advertising the event as well as advertising to get people to participate in the event, the artisans and vendors and whatever. So we'll have to advertise both. We're thinking 10 tents at $150 each, which would be about $1,500. Signage at $400, and some of that signage would include for sponsors as well as individual signs in front of the tents to tell who the vendors are and what they're doing. Tables, approximately 150. Toilets, 500. Garbage cans, 50. Drinks and ice, 300. Some of that stuff, such as the drinks and ice, our board members have offered to put the money up to be able to do smaller items like that for a group, and then raise some money for our club as well.
Is this going to go rain or shine?
Yes, that's why we got the tents. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. But anyway, or snow maybe. Yeah.
That's not funny.
If no more further questions, I guess we can entertain a motion.
Well, just prior to making that motion, Your Worship, I'd like to say that I've been involved in at least 3 community opinion projects in my service with the town that has dealt with quality of life in Strathmore. The lack of organized arts and culture events has been raised consistently as concerns. Having been involved with the Musical Arts Society in the past and now with the Strathmore Regional Arts Collective, I see firsthand the need to improve our commitment to culture in our community. Cultural Days is a provincially supported event, and amazing activities are taking place in communities rather, such as Airdrie, Fort Macleod, Banff, Chestermere, Cochrane, and Okotoks, to name but a few. It's regrettable that provincial funding was not requested for this venture, but this is an opportunity for the town to partner with a group of enthusiastic volunteers and make our very own Cultural Days a reality for 2013. That said, I would move that council support this venture with a financial amount of $2,500.
Any further questions? Other motion, this would come from the stabilization, the money? Where would it come from?
Financial stabilization or grants to organizations.
Okay. Y'all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you guys very much.
Good luck.
Have fun with it.
Thank you.
And you'll give that budget to the administration?
I have copies.
Have fun with this.
Pardon me?
Have fun.
Thank you, we're so excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Number 6, one bylaw number 13-12, Kinsman Park Land Use Amendment, page 15.
Your Worship, I move that council give second reading to bylaw 13-12.
Y'all heard the motion? Any discussion? Not? All in favor? Carried.
In your worship, I would move that council give third reading and third and final reading to bylaw 13-12.
Y'all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Pretty simple. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty-Ann.
8-1 dinner for High River residents, page 21.
Worship, we received a request to provide a donation of $1,000 towards a dinner to be provided to High River residents. The donation would be $1,000, and that would pay for some of the ingredients for the meal, and be volunteers putting on the dinner. And so we're asking for approval of the $1,000.
Any questions from administration or from council rather, sorry?
I would just make one comment, Your Worship, that the meal is going to be served tomorrow. They've been, they finally got permission to enter High River and feed the residents of High River. They've it's one of the reasons why this money was needed was to prepare for this event, and unfortunately, we didn't know when the event would be able to take place. So it's going to start tomorrow, and they are ready because of the generosity of our townsfolk as well.
Okay. Councilor Best?
Your worship, first let me say that I absolutely have no problem with the donation of this money, and that what I do have is that there's a motion coming that will be in question. Your worship, I believe that the item on the agenda is moot, being as that the check has already been written and the money has already been spent. Your worship, the problem arising here is that a councillor has bypassed our local town bylaws and shown blatant disregard for the Municipal Government Act. By bypassing the CAO and going directly to his staff was the first thing that was done wrong. Secondly, having our deputy CAO get a check cut without a motion from this council or a vote from this council is wrong for all reasons. It is disrespectful to the CAO, the deputy CAO, and to this council, as well as being contrary to our bylaws and in direct contravention of the MGA. Mayor Graychuk, this has been confirmed through municipal affairs. Being on this council for nearly 6 years, this councillor is well aware of the proper procedures. For him not to have come to you and asked for a special meeting of council, which would have taken 24 hours, or to request an emergency meeting of council, which would have needed no time, it would have had this matter before council with a motion and a vote that would have alleviated this conundrum. It's for that reason, Your Worship, that at this time I would ask that Councillor Sobel resign his position from council and that this motion be dismissed as moot, as the check has already been written and the money spent.
Pretty harsh words, but anyway, given the situation, the dire need of these residents down there, and I'd like to add something here that when Brooks had their big issue with the plant, the cattle, the situation when the plant went down, E. coli in the plant. We did the very same thing, I might add, and you voted, we issued the check and the motion was made after. So you were involved in that motion and you did the very same thing there. So we knew, we took a straw vote here, we knew it would pass, and I think we can trust the councillors to go ahead, and once they said it was on a straw vote that was going to pass, that, I agree.
When did this council start working on straw votes?
Well, just a minute, let me finish, okay, please? I think we can trust on $1,000 that the councils are all gonna go for it. So, and I don't disagree that technically you're very right, and it is an issue, but it's done. Let's work together on it and move forward. Councillor Sobel.
Well, I suppose I should maybe make a comment or two on that. First of all, I guess I'm a little disappointed in those comments too. You're not going to get my resignation. You can be assured of that. To clear up a couple of issues, this issue was discussed with both the CAO, the deputy CAO, and the mayor. And for your information, Councillor Best, I asked for a special meeting. Now I'll say what I was going to say. In my 30-year career as a member of the RCMP, I encountered a great many incidents that are best described as tragedies. Amongst all of them, I recall two that involve substantial loss of both property and life, and I refer to both the Edmonton Short Park and the Pine Lake tornado events. It's safe to say that things I witnessed in both those locations will stay with me for the rest of my life. Placed next to the Southern Alberta flood of 2013, however, both pale in comparison. While my job is no longer to investigate deaths or organize evacuations, as a councillor, my job is to represent the members of my community. I have little doubt that the vast majority of our citizens feel extremely fortunate to have dodged a bullet, so to speak. Having avoided the terrible floods in our town does not, however, relieve some of the need to help or deal with, in some cases, tremendous feelings of sorrow and sympathy. It's with those thoughts in mind that I felt that action, rather than talk and rhetoric, was needed. The two projects, and there's one to come after this one, the two projects that I requested council approval were not focused on rebuilding damaged property. They were instead focused on helping our residents, help others to ensure our residents, help others and to ensure our residents had the means to focus their support. Feed High River is a project, which is the second one will be coming up, I'm sorry, that's this one here, is a project started by the people of this community. Their coordinator is Corrine Bland, a responsible, mature, and respected leader in our community. I'm closely involved with this project and can attest to everyone that the $1,000 provided by our municipality will be well spent and will make a difference in people's lives. The money was needed immediately so that the enormous task of preparation could get started. The second project, which is under 8.2, is the I Support the Southern Alberta Flood Relief Fund buttons. And this was a project that I felt would give our citizens a vehicle to provide support. I thought it was necessary to have the pins ready for Canada Day. The goal is to sell all 1,000 pins at $5 a pin and then donate the money to the Red Cross on behalf of the citizens of the town of Strathmore. I suggested the Red Cross, the recipient for these funds, based on their history as having one of the lowest cost of administration fees of all charitable organizations. Approximately $1,300 was raised at the Canada Day celebrations, and these pins will continue to be sold in various town facilities for the next few weeks. Approval for both these projects came from the required amount of councillors verbally. This is not normal procedure and not an action typical of me. But, and I quote Premier Redford here, these are not normal times. The majority of council agreed with my proposals, acknowledging that quick action was needed. And I make no apologies for doing what I did, Councillor Vest.
Any further comments, Councillor Peel?
Well, I just want to add that, again, I agree, time was of the importance. We were given a chance to vote on this, to talk about it as a straw vote. I know it's not normal procedure. As far as your comments that you read, Councillor Best, I think the word disrespect was too strong, let alone using the word resignation for what Councillor Sobel tried to do to help people. If it means that we can get money to people who need it after a flood like that hit High River, I don't disagree with what we did, and I don't disagree with what Councillor Sobel brought forward. And you can wrap yourself around policies all you want, but that doesn't help people who are suffering.
Councillor Best.
This money was needed so badly that it hasn't been spent yet. Is that correct? This money has not been spent yet, so it was needed so badly that we've had it sitting there doing nothing for all this time.
Where do you think all this money is going to tomorrow?
So it's going tomorrow. That's correct. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying we had time to do this.
We weren't aware of that.
And to do it properly.
We weren't aware of that at the time.
Yeah, actually, that dinner was supposed to happen last Saturday.
That's right.
Correct.
Your Worship, I want the public to know too that we don't just do this willy-nilly where we do these straw votes and decide on things like this, but this was a unique situation. We thought the money was going to be needed, as Councillor Rempel was saying last Saturday. So we did agree to it using a straw poll. We didn't call an emergency meeting. We decided to do it the fastest way we could. And if I had to do it again, I'd do it again.
Calling an emergency meeting is another $500 that could go towards the fund.
Why would it be $500?
Because it costs administration and everything else. We all got it. You realize that it costs time for these people to sit here? I'm sure you must know that by now. Councillor Rocky.
Your Worship, I have very, very strong ties to High River. I've seen my brother suffer. So what happened down there shouldn't happen to anybody on the face of this world. I had Premier Redford in my shop yesterday, and her and me sat down for a few minutes, and she told me in her exact words, "I have never seen a man take charge of a situation like your brother did." He's got full support of the provincial government, and they will get the support of the federal government. Getting back to this though, as Councillor Bob mentioned, I sat down with Corrine roughly 2 weeks ago, just shortly after this happened, and she said, "We got to do something." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I've been trying to think of something. I'm not sure what we can do, but I guess the head started rolling, and this is where we're at today." Councillor Bob, I think you wrapped cookies for 3 hours this morning, maybe. I was busy cooking 300 pounds of roast beef all night long in my shop. Yes, the money is in the trust account at the Alberta Treasury branch, which I have signing power on. No, maybe we didn't need the money that early, but it is in there. It's definitely going to this Feed the High River project. As Councillor Bob said, there's a crew that's going to be there tomorrow at noon. I believe it's 2 days, isn't it, Bob? Are you trying to feed 1,500 tomorrow?
Yeah.
1,500 people tomorrow, whether they're people that need food or volunteers or whoever's involved down there. They're down there tomorrow, and they're going to be down there again. Obviously, there's been problems getting connections to get into High River, but it is definitely going to go ahead. And the only thing I guess that's maybe a little mixed up in all this is the procedure call. The trust account right now is sitting at roughly $13,000, and that's including the $1,000 from the town here. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to make this motion, but I'll wait to see what transpires here.
Further comments?
I'd like to make a comment that I agree entirely with Councillor Sobel and the majority of the other members of council. I don't think $1,000 is enough, but that was a figure that was decided on, and I am definitely in favor of this motion. I sent an email to Councillor Sobel previous to this when he first suggested it, and I was in 100% agreement.
No further comments? I'm looking.
There's just one comment, Your Worship, and I just want to make it clear that I am not against what we're doing here with this $1,000, and I'm certainly not against donating it for this specific purpose. It's obviously needed, and the devastation that's happened around southern Alberta is certainly exactly that, devastation, and when what has happened in High River is nothing short of colossal damage. It's hard to even explain. I'm certainly not against this. What I'm against is the procedure.
Your point is well taken. Councillor Gill.
Well, I just want to make a comment. If we can trust and count on Mayor Graychuk's numbers, that it would be a $500 charge to run a special meeting or to charge out for a special meeting like that, and we're trying to spend $1,000 to help people, we're going to add another $500 on top of that just to meet when we can do it via these iPhones that are so great for us. We can act quickly on things.
You know, it's not only the staff sitting here, it's organizing it. There's a lot of factors involved in organizing a meeting. It costs money every time you set a special meeting. And it's we've been doing it too many times, you know. Yeah, if it was $100,000 or $10,000 or $5,000, yeah, it would have been a different attitude.
Money's irrelevant.
Anyway, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make
Your
a
Worship, I move
motion.
that council approve of the.
We all will.
I thought you said you weren't gonna do that.
That was. Go ahead, make it.
Go ahead.
You changed your mind on that? Do you wanna do it?
Oh, you can do it.
I move that council approve a donation of $1,000 towards feeding residents of High River at the amount to be drawn from the Financial Stabilization Reserve.
Thank you. You all heard the motion. No further comments. If not, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. 8.2, page 23, fundraiser for flood relief for Southern Alberta. That is the pin, I believe.
Yes, Your Worship, this is the pins
Yep.
that we're selling for $5 a piece in support of flood relief. And we are asking that council approve the purchase of 1,000 pins in the amount of $933 plus GST, with the proceeds to go towards flood relief for the citizens of Southern Alberta and the costs to be drawn from the Financial Stabilization Reserve.
You all heard the recommendation. Any comments or questions? Councillor Rempel.
Yeah, through the chair to administration, and I'm not. I don't want to make an issue of this, but a question of as seeing as we have an item here that we're purchasing something and we're selling, we're making a profit on it. Will that? If we sell all of the 1,000 pins of it, it would bring us $5,000. Are we going to take that the cost of the pins out of that 5,000, or will the entire amount go to the? And I believe in this case it's the Canadian Red Cross.
The intent was, if I could answer that, the intent was for all proceeds to go and to the cost of the pins to be borne by the citizens.
Yeah, I just wanted to have it make that clear so that we don't have anything coming back later on.
That was the intent. Once again, that would be the council's decision.
I have no further questions.
Okay.
Your Worship, the only thing that I would have to say is ditto.
Your worship, I move the council approve the purchase of 1,000 pins in the amount of $933 plus GST, with the proceeds to go towards flood relief for the citizens of southern Alberta and the cost to be drawn from the financial stabilization reserve.
You all heard the motion. No further comments or questions? None. All in favor? Carried. Administration Committee and departmental reports. Home Farm Meeting 2.
3.
Right, 3. Town antenna. Comments from administration?
Sorry.
Any comments from administration? I'm sure it's hot in here, I can tell you that.
No kidding.
Oh, yes, sorry, your worship. This is just for your information, and it's, that the fire department has been having difficulty receiving transmissions within its organization and with the Wademza dispatch services over the last few months. So our IT tech and Westcam Wireless have been working to resolve the problem with the communication network, and we've discovered that the town antenna is broken. So we are going to repair this problem at a cost of $3,252, and we will be taking these funds from the operating budget. So we're not looking for a motion, we're just giving council this information because we've changed some of the spending. This has become more important than some of the other projects.
Thank you.
Now move the council accept this report for information.
You all heard the motion. All in favor? Carried. No committee reports. Who wants to go first? Okay.
Short and sweet. Councillor Best could not attend the last Happy Gang meeting, and asked if I would attend in his place. I guess it was fairly routine what the questions that they had and the programs that they are working with at the present time. The emphasis that they placed on this letter writing campaign to the Minister of Health is still ongoing, and they're encouraging as many people as possible to write and write their concerns to Minister Horn, objecting to the closure of our long-term care center. And I believe that was probably, I didn't make any notes, but that's about the only thing that I recall as being up front and center there. I had to leave right after I did my report, and unfortunately couldn't stay for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Pugh.
Yeah, I guess I better should come forward here. The Youth Club Board, we did not have a meeting last night. I just want to report again, in case this wasn't mentioned, that we had a $6,300 profit. We were sold out for the comedy night in June, and all that goes towards the Youth Club. Youth Club is running programs. I was able to drive yesterday for one of the programs to go to Jump House, and they have really solid attendance. We had 24 kids yesterday. We meet again next week. Wheatland Housing, I was not able to go to their last meeting. Library Board, last Wednesday, we are working on a personnel policy, and we will be doing it again at the next meeting as well. We planned for a table display and a draw for Kobe Reader at Canada Day, which Mayor Graychuk, I believe you drew the Kobe Reader. And we're also hoping to enter a float in the Heritage Days Parade in August. Tour of Alberta, Mr. Scott Carlson and I have distributed school packages to all the elementary schools in Strathmore. Their activity booklets to get the kids pumped up as far as the Tour of Alberta in September, as well as to get homerooms and things to adopt the various teams. We also discussed the day of the race, things that would be happening, the cyclist parade route, as well as the festival atmosphere that'll be happening downtown. And our next meeting is tomorrow at 10 a.m. The museum meeting was canceled due to people being away, out of town, or ill. We are not meeting again till fall, and it has been tough getting people to attend regularly. We've had some older people who've developed illnesses and things, so we are struggling a little bit. And that's it.
Councillor Best.
Your worship, as was mentioned, I was not able to attend the Happy Gang, and on the night of housing, neither Councillor Fuel nor I could make that meeting. I was called away in an emergency with my family. I did attend on the 27th of June the annual general meeting for Community Futures Wild Rose. At that meeting, the approval of the audit was put through, the approval of the new auditor was put through, and then there was a very short meeting held. One couple of things of note, there were 6 children sent to entrepreneur camp this year. This is for children, or teenagers, I guess, from the age of 13 to 18. And what they do is they put them through an entrepreneurial camp where they're actually teaching them proper business procedures and how to run businesses, as well as that and go and have a really good time. This year we sent 6 kids. The normal is 4, but we had extra bodies this year, and a couple of the other communities who didn't said that we could use their spots. I'd mentioned before the entrepreneurial challenge, the Chinook Entrepreneurial Challenge, that for the first time in the history of this event, that one of the teams in the finals was from Strathmore. That was Kindred Companions, and they were runners-up this year, and kudos go out to Colleen Best and Janet Fitzgerald. The next meeting will be held the first Thursday in September, and that's my reports.
Thank you. Councillor Hamilton.
I've only had one meeting this month, your worship, and that was at the chamber. Yesterday, July 20th, the majority of the council were there. The main discussion was surrounding the start time of the Heritage Days parade, which was resolved, hopefully, to everybody's satisfaction. And that's the end of my report.
The parade starts at what time?
9 a.m. And also, there's a point about asking for volunteers for judging. So if the press could note that in their report as well, to contact the chairperson for the Chamber of Commerce, Joyce Bazant.
Just one question. There was a recent article in the paper from Chamber of Commerce indicating the time was at 10 o'clock. Do you think that the Chamber will be making efforts to
Yes.
rectify that statement? Thank you.
Councillor Rocky.
Thank you, Your Worship. Attended Winnemza meeting June 17th. Alberta Health Services regarding consolidation of EMS dispatch wants the last 3 years of 9/11 records released to them, which has approximately 38,000 names and information on it. The Winnemza board decided that would be up to the individual municipalities to decide whether they want to do that. The board is not going to release it. We're still waiting for a 3-month contract extension since ours expires June 30th. I believe the new one came in June 29th. We are now good till September 30th. We are still not willing to give in to divest to Alberta Health Services. United Way meeting on June 27th, just basic discussion on fundraising activities for the next 3-4 months into October. Handy bus meeting on June 24th, I attended. The financials are still looking strong. Maintenance on the vehicles is low. In May, we had 491 clients moved. We have hired a new full-time driver that has experience. The Handy bus board was very appreciative to Mel, Hetty, Rory, and Rhonda. We all gave them appreciation gifts in dedication of what they've done to the board. And we've developed some policies to establish guidelines on donations and how they are dispersed. And we also discussed donation protocol of when and how or how many times a year we should go after corporate and businesses. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councillor Sobel.
Thank you. Strathmore Wheatland Addiction Team, or SWAT, the last meeting before summer break was held on June 13th. I was not in town, unable to attend. Minutes for that meeting have not yet been received. In regards to Strathmore Assembly for Youth, or SAY, although there's no meeting held in June, that's not to say the SAY group was idle. They were very busy putting the final touches on the new S'more Path app, which is designed to assist and excite everyone who enjoys walking, jogging, or biking in Strathmore. The app was finally approved on July 2nd, that's yesterday, and is now ready to be downloaded on anyone's iPhone for free. Efforts are underway to have the app available to Android phones as well in the near future. And there's actually going to be a fundraiser to get them that app. We're going to be roasting Steve, a fellow by the name of Steve Graychuck, on September 14th, and all proceeds on that roast will go to the SAY group with the intent of having this app available to Android phones. So September 14th is the day, mark it down, it's going to be a lot of fun. More details will follow on that. And you can find that app, anyone can find the app by simply going onto the town's Facebook page. In regards to the CRP Calgary Regional Partnership Transportation Committee meeting, it was canceled in June due to the flooding. And that's all I have for my reports, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any meetings that I was supposed to attend, including CRP, I couldn't attend because of other meetings that I had. And wanted the council to know in public that I did resign from the CRP mediation committee simply because of the fact that my input wasn't necessary. They weren't paying attention to it, and it involved basically 3 municipalities, Calgary and the 2 surrounding large municipalities, and really nothing to do with Strathmore, and or many other communities surrounding Strathmore or surrounding Calgary. So it's really a mediation between why the 2 municipalities should join CRP. My argument is this: that I attended 2.5 years of meetings with CRP discussing how to get the municipalities aboard or to join CRP. Every meeting we discussed that for an hour and a half, and once we got into this mediation, we were discussing how to appease them, and my input wasn't necessary, so I found it too costly and too time consuming, so I resigned, and they accepted my resignation. Other than that, I want to say on the lighthearted side of things, I enjoyed taking the kids to Vancouver on a private jet. These high school kids that were working hard and making their rates better, and we spent the day in Vancouver. There was 5 students, 3 from the high school and 3 from the Catholic school, or 3 from the high school and 2 from the Catholic school. There was no cost to the town of Strathmore, absolutely not. The cost of the jet was borne by the owner, Don Murray, and the day was supplied by Mr. Harrison Gray of Grace Limited. And also the helicopter ride last week was supplied by BlueCon, and the kids flew over and that was exciting. I believe there was 4 kids on that, and they flew over the flooded areas, and they came back with a real eye-opener. Also, I'd like to mention we took the kids in Vancouver through on a boat tour, a harbor tour, and it was very educational, I'll tell you, for them. And also we took them down East Hastings and told them how not to live. Wow. And that was a real eye-opener for them. The van was very, very quiet when they seen how these people live on East Hastings. And if you people haven't been there, it is horrible. But anyway, it was enjoyable, and these kids were just ecstatic. And other than that, I want to emphasize there was absolutely no cost to the town of Strathmore. Thank you very much. I have no comments or questions. That's it.
Move the acceptance of all the committee reports, Your Worship.
Thank you. All in favor?
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's anything from administration.
Was there?
Oh, sorry.
I can give you an update on the building statistics. So year to date at the end of June, total number of residential permits was 107. 43 of those was a mixture of semi-detached, multifamily, and single dwelling units. Building value $8,239,348. We had 10 commercial permits for a value of $3,657,200 and 1 institutional renovation for $55,000. So total number of permits at the end of June was 118 for a value of $11,951,600.
How many residential new starts?
Are you talking about single family?
Yes.
5 single family, 28 semi-detached, and 8 multifamily.
Still not enough, but anyway, thank you. Now a motion?
I move the.
No, but Councillor Sobel, or Councillor Rock, you started it, didn't you?
No, I just asked if administration.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I move the acceptance of committee report.
All in favor? Carried. Sorry. I do have to read one special letter.
Are we at 11 yet, or
We're at,
are we doing 11?
Doing 11, yeah. Anybody want to go ahead?
Actually, I do. Actually, I'd like to pass on my personal appreciation and thanks to all the administration who worked so darn hard on Canada Day. That thing just keeps getting bigger and better, and you guys did a fantastic job, an amazing job. So kudos to you all. I know everybody worked really hard because it was really hot out there, but it was a good one, guys.
That's thanks to Jen and her team.
Yeah.
Good work.
And I certainly agree with that. I'd like to go ahead, Councillor Best.
Your Worship, for the past 3 years, we've had the Best Hamburger in Strathmore contest. This year, I'm hoping to have it as no different and to run this contest again. The only cost to the town is a plaque that goes to the winner for bragging rights in their restaurant that says they have the best hamburger in town. And I just wanted to get council's approval on this to do this again this year.
Any comments? You get to eat every hamburger?
Yes.
Councillor Hamel, how come you're not there?
I was.
He was last year.
Free meal.
Okay, motion. Right? You don't want a motion?
Yeah, I don't mind voting on this, and although it shouldn't be at this council meeting because it's an improper procedure, but wasn't on the agenda. But I'll accept it anyway because I'm that kind of guy.
Well, the reason why it doesn't have to be on the agenda, sir, is simply for the fact that it's questions between councillors and administration, and this is a direct question to council.
Okay.
Is this a motion to spend money?
No, what I'm asking if council is okay with this, and all we will need is a plaque to do that.
Who pays for the plaque, Councillor?
In the past 3 years, the town has paid for the
Okay,
plaque.
so it's a motion to spend some money. I have no problem with this. Go ahead, make the motion.
Your Worship, I would move that the town and the people who work with the town on this, the Chamber of Commerce and the Times newspaper, bring forth the Best Burger in Strathmore contest, and that the cost to the town will be a plaque to the winner.
Y'all in the motion, any further discussion or comments? Not? All in favor? Was that everybody?
Yep.
Thank you. Carried. Somebody else wanted to.
I have a question to administration,
Yes.
Your Worship, through the chair to administration. I'm wondering how long it'll be before they'll fix that air conditioner.
Yeah, sorry, we just noticed it today. We will be working
Worked
on
at
it
the last
immediately.
It's your hot flashes.
You all look right in?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Now, can I read this very special letter? It's written to Miss Nelson. This letter is to officially confirm that Miss Betty Ann Fountain, who is currently employed by the town of Strathmore, has successfully completed all requirements of the Applied Land Use Planning Certificate program. Miss Fountain is now considered a graduate of the program, that's the way it's spelled, and will receive her official certificate in June 2014 during the Facility of Extension's annual graduation. And I want to applaud that, and it goes on to say that if you require any further documentation. But no, congratulations, Betty Ann. Good job, well done.
speech.
I want to know what a graduate done is.
Graduate.
Graduate.
I didn't spell it. Thank you very much. I would entertain, I think, a motion for adjournment.
I'll move we adjourn.
All in favor? Carried.